this computer. All right. Hey guys, thanks for coming on tonight's call. We have an amazing speaker. I'm really not going to speak too much, but I just wanted to go over a few announcements. Make sure that you realize we are done with Coach Basics. Or not doing it like on the first Monday of every month like we used to. We have the step-by-step new coach training in our team page. Just go to our team group, our team page, go into the photo albums, and then in the album section, it will say step-by-step training. Click on that, and then you can do it or send that to your new coaches. And then there's also the new coach welcome email in there that you can send your new coaches as well. Next Monday, June 5th, we'll be doing the team 3-day refresh group alongside with Sean T-Week. So make sure you invite people to that, and hopefully you're going to be a part of that group as well. And then same from last week, obviously, I hope you guys heard that we are going into the UK. So make sure, we obviously can't give that to them yet, probably sometime later in the fall we can offer that to people. But you want to make sure that you're building your network there. So, try and add like 5 new UK friends per day. That way they can see what you're doing. And then when the time comes that we can offer it to them, they already have a relationship built with you. So that is all I'm going to say for tonight. And I'm going to introduce our guest speaker for tonight. So Amber, I kind of just know her from, she was, like we were talking about before, she's success partners with some people in our downline. She's a 3-star diamond coach. She's hit Success Club 10 for 24 months in a row. So that means she's being really consistent. She's been a coach for 2 years, and really cool stat too is that she hit diamond in 30 days. So what does that mean? Is that she helped 2 of her personally sponsored coaches to get to emerald, and she had 4 on each side to get to diamond. And that's really quick, very unheard of, but we're excited to have you, Amber, to kind of like tell us and share your story, and I'm sure you're gonna share really awesome information with us. So take it away.
Thank you so much for that. So I guess I'm going to start off with just a little bit about my story, kind of how I got started as a coach. And I have a point to it, so bear with me, especially if you're a newer coach, or maybe somebody who struggles with hearing no, or wondering if you'll ever get to where you want to be. And then she asked me to kind of talk to you guys about what exactly it was that got me to diamond in 30 days. What did I do? What did that look like? And then I also have some like social media tips for you guys that help my team and that I always share with my new coaches. So I'm going to share that with you guys tonight too. So I'll start off with my story. I've been a coach for 2 years in March. And before I was a coach, I worked as an insurance agent for 10 years. And I just kind of fell into it right out of high school. My grandmother actually got me the job, or not got me the job, but told me about the job. I was working at the front desk of a chiropractor's office, and I hated it there. I just felt like it was not for me, and I wanted to try something different, and my grandma knew that, and so she went into her State Farm agent one day and saw that they were hiring, and she was like, Amber, they're hiring over there, you should go interview. I got the job on the spot, and I thought that it was an awesome opportunity. Like, I was really pumped about it. Within a few months, they wanted me to move from receptionist to an agent position, which means I would have a license through the state and I could write insurance policies and I could make more money. And I really was like stoked on that. Like, they were going to pay for me to get my license. And I thought, cool, like this is going to be awesome, right? I'm 18 years old, have no experience, and now I'm getting my license paid for, and I get to have all this opportunity to make more income and really have a career, which I didn't, before I kind of fell into that, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was still figuring out who I was. I mean, when you're 18, I don't think you even know who you are. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. My parents never really offered to pay for college, so I just didn't go. And so I just went to work, and I was like pretty stoked on that job. And it was fine for a couple years, but I was there for 3 years when I got pregnant with my son. and he's 8 now. And when I got pregnant with him, things started to change. I started to like dread going to work. I started to call out. I started to not really love it there. And then after he was born, it was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I didn't want to leave him, and I didn't really have any choice. So I tried to go to college, because I thought maybe I could get a different job, or I could at least not go back to work and go to school and be home with him. So what I wound up doing, because we couldn't really afford for me to not work, is I wound up taking out a ton of student loans to go to school for a couple semesters, and then I had to drop out because, number one, I couldn't afford it. I was racking up all this debt, and I still didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just going to school just to be home with him, and I didn't know why I was going to school. And I wasn't excited about it. I've never loved school. And so I dropped out. So I am a college dropout. I never got a degree. I got a ton of student loan debt, which I'm still paying on to this day. And I went back to insurance. So I wound up having to put him in daycare, and I went back to insurance. And from that point forward, I never loved it. I was like, it was honestly just like the only thing that I knew, and the only thing that I knew for sure could provide income to cover our bills. So I stuck with it, and I settled with that. So fast forward 5 more years, and I got pregnant with my daughter, and she's 3 now. And after I had her, it was like all of those same feelings of just not wanting to go back to work, not wanting to do insurance anymore, came just like when I had him. But this time I had 2 kids that I was putting in daycare, and 2 kids that I was leaving at home, and 2 kids I was thinking about while I was at this job that didn't fulfill me, that I didn't love. And we were still living paycheck to paycheck. So I made decent money, but I had bad spending habits, and we would always create debt to match our paycheck. So it was like, if I started to earn a little bit more money, then we'd create more debt. And that's just how we lived. And so it wasn't until, December of 2014, I signed up in 2015, December of 2014, we always got a Christmas bonus at my work. I mean, I had been at that office now like 5 years, and we always got a Christmas bonus. Well, Christmas came and went, and we didn't get a bonus, and it was really weird. But at the same time, like, what do you do, right? You can't be like, where's my bonus? It's an extra thing. So that Christmas was really hard. And then as soon as we came back from that Christmas break, my boss called a meeting, and he said, listen, the agency isn't doing as well as it used to be. You're doing a great job. We love you. But we can't afford to continue paying you commission. So in my position, I made an hourly rate, which was really low for customer service, but I could make as much money as I wanted in commission from writing new policies for people. So auto, home, all that stuff. So I was averaging about an extra $200 a week, so $800 a month in commission. And basically, that's something that the agency can choose to pay you or not. And they said, we can't afford to pay you that anymore. So you're going to go back down to your regular hourly rate, which was like $10 an hour. I had been an agent for 10 years, and now I'm making $10 an hour, and I've taken an $800 a month pay cut. We couldn't afford to pay our bills with $800 less. I didn't know what I was going to do. I had just spent money to provide Christmas for my family on a credit card because we didn't get a Christmas bonus, which is what I used to use. And I was just like, I have a safe, awesome career, whatever, was completely ripped out from under me in that meeting. And the worst part about it is like, yeah, I mean, I guess I could have gone out and gotten another job at another insurance agency, but I probably would have been making about the same amount of money. I would have had to start all over again. And honestly, I was still having, at this point, my daughter was a year old, and I was still having those feelings of like, I don't even want to do this to begin with. Like, I don't even want to do this job or work for these people or anything to begin with. I had a manager who hated me. Literally, I was the youngest person there, and I really think, it sounds crazy, but I really think because I was like young that she didn't like me. And she had been there, for forever. And I would call, like, if one of my kids were sick, and I would pray that I got her voicemail because I didn't want to have to actually talk to her. That's how bad it was. And I was always afraid that when I did have to call out that I was going to lose my job, that I was going to be in trouble. And so here I am, $800 less a month, still carrying around some baby weight from when I had her, wanting to be home with my kids. I started searching for work from home jobs. And if you've ever done that, it is like the scammiest of the scammy will pop up if you Google work from home jobs. Okay. It's like, oh, guaranteed $2,000 a week, whatever, just by writing reviews. And it's all just, but I was so desperate. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard that saying that you either have to be really desperate or really inspired to make a change. And I would love to say that I was really inspired, but the truth is that I was really, really desperate. And so during this time that all this is going on, I was like a perfectionist. I never put anything on social media about my life. I only posted pictures about my kids. I never let on to anyone that anything was wrong, that we were financially struggling, nothing. I don't think anybody even knew that I hated my job because I just didn't want people to think that my life wasn't perfect. And so during this time, I had started to do like some yoga from home, tried to do yoga from home. And I had posted a picture because my daughter came alongside me and like did a little pose, and it was the cutest thing ever. And my husband snapped a picture and I posted it. And this girl reached out to me and was like, oh my gosh, that photo is so cute. What are you doing? Are you working out from home? Whatever. And started a conversation with me. And I'm telling you guys, I don't know how this girl got on my friends list. I don't know how. I was literally that person that was like anti-Beachbody. Like, I will never be a coach. That's gross. It's scammy. I would never accept friend requests from people that I didn't know. I literally don't even know how she got on my friends list other than the universe sent her to me. And so she messaged me and I was like, no, never, nope. Like, I knew what she was trying to do. I knew she was trying to form me, and I was just like, nope, not for me. And she still kept on. She kept liking my stuff, commenting on my stuff. And as you guys know how Facebook works, from that point on, it was like every day her stuff was just popping up and I was reading it. And I was like that silent stalker that I would never like or comment on anything of hers. I would never, ever show any indication that I was interested, nothing, but I was watching from that point on. And then when this happened with my job, I was really watching. And it was on March, so that was in January. We went a couple months like putting groceries on a credit card and just really struggling and trying to figure out what I could do. And I finally, on March the 1st of 2015, I woke up in the morning, and I used to check my bank account like it was my job. Like every day I would roll over, and the first thing I would do is pull up my bank account to see if we were in the negative, how much money we had left for the week. I was like obsessive over it because I was so like, money was a fear thing for me. It was a scarcity thing for me. And so I checked our bank account. We had 89 cents in our checking account. And it's not like I hadn't seen that number before. I had seen negative before. But for some reason that day, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't live like this anymore. I didn't know how I was going to get from that Sunday morning to the paycheck on Friday. And I thought, what if something happens to my kids? What if they have an emergency and they need something and I can't pay for it? And for some reason that morning something clicked. And I literally reached out to her and I was like, how do I sign up? I had told her, no, don't even talk to me about it for 4 or 5 months. And finally I was just like, this girl will not go away. She keeps popping up, and maybe this is the thing that I'm supposed to do. So I signed up. I asked no questions. I never joined a sneak peek. She didn't have any trainings, no nothing. I signed up on a credit card that day. And I think the one thing that really drove me to be successful in the beginning is that because I was so desperate, I didn't have any other choice but to make this work. It wasn't like, let me just dip my toe in and see how it goes. Let me just feel it out. Let me just have a plan B. Let me just, see what this is about. It was like, it is this or it's nothing. And I think a lot of people, I've noticed in my coaches, sometimes they sign up and they're not to that point yet. And those are the coaches that struggle. The ones who are just kind of dipping their toe in. They're not really diving all the way in. Or the ones who say they want it, but they're not really connected to a why or a vision that's driving them. And those are the ones that hit Success Club sometimes, or disappear sometimes, or fall off every other month or whatever. And for me, that was the reason why I was so driven to succeed and why it happened so fast, is because I didn't have any other choice. I didn't leave myself any other choice. So that's kind of how I got started. I always tell that part of my story because I want you guys to understand that if just because I said no, that girl would have stopped showing up and would have stopped posting and stopped sharing her story and stopped connecting with me, I wouldn't be here today. So just because people tell you no, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't keep going, and it doesn't mean that they won't join you in the future. You can't let that determine how you continue forward. And I know that's a hard thing for a lot of people, is when people tell them, absolutely not, I don't believe in that. I think I even posted after she messaged me like how annoying Beachbody coaches were, and she still didn't give up on me. So I was just that person. Like, I didn't want anything to do with it. I thought the whole thing was fake because my life was so just not where I wanted it to be. And I was so unhappy with myself and my situation. Everybody who seemed happy and successful, I thought was fake. So make sure that, you don't give up even on those people who say no. So I want to share with you guys really quick, how I went diamond in 30 days. So after I signed up, like I said, she didn't have any training. She was more of like a hobby coach at the time. There was no trainings. The only scripts that I was given were cold invite, like those gross, want to make you vomit when you read them invites. That's all that was given to me. And all I had was just run with it and figure it out as you go. That's what I kept telling myself. Just keep moving forward and you'll figure it out as you go. And I would get on other team calls, and I would sit and message people while I was listening to YouTube videos from other teams, because my coach didn't have that type of stuff. So I figured out a way to get training on my own and to kind of learn on my own, even without all of that. So how did I go diamond in 30 days? I also put in my notice at my job in 6 weeks. So I left my full-time job in 6 weeks after I started. So the first thing that I did is I made a list of people to reach out to. And there was probably about 100 people on it. All I did was go through my Facebook friends. And at that time, I had like 200 Facebook friends, but I actually knew all of those people. And so that was my warm market. So I reached out to all of them. I got on the phone with people, called my mom, my sister, signed up my husband. I was like, whatever I got to do, I got to make this work, right? So it didn't matter to me. I didn't allow myself time to care what anybody thought, because I was too busy working. And I think that's really, really important. The more that you sit back and even sometimes these calls, it's like the more you sit back and try to take everything in, but if you don't put action behind it, you'll always stay stagnant. You have to always be working while you're learning. So I didn't allow myself time to get cold feet or to overthink. I just got to work from day one. So I hit Emerald before I even got my challenge pack in the mail. I had never been through a challenge group, nothing. I just took that list of people, and I was so excited about the potential with this. And I think that's the important thing too as a new coach. A lot of people are like, and you guys probably hear this too, should I wait until I have completed a program? Should I wait until I have results? Should I wait until I'm successful? Should I wait until I have my first paycheck? And the answer is always no, because your excitement for this will outsell any results or like experience or anything that you could ever share. If you are pumped up and on fire about this, people will buy it no matter what, no matter what. I used to always tell my team, when people would say like, I just can't get people to commit because of the money. And I'm like, well, what is your thoughts on the price of the challenge pack? Do you think it's expensive? Because I think if they right now change the price of a challenge pack to $1,000, I'd still sell just as many of them, because I believe in it that much, and I'll get that pumped up about it, and I'll share that excitement with other people so that they want to do it too. So make sure that, you know, that the energy that you're putting into your messages, the energy that you're putting into your posts is something that grabs people and makes them say, oh my gosh, like she's on fire about that. I want to like know about that. And you can do like a self-reflection and review your Facebook. I still do this. I'll scroll my own Facebook and be like, all right, what energy am I putting out there? Is it high or is it mediocre? Because there's too many coaches out there, and chances are if you're not like really willing to like self-reflect and change and grow and figure out what's working for you and what's not, then somebody's going to be a step ahead of you. And that other coach that's on that has mutual friends with you, they may sign up with them. If it doesn't mean that they have the right wording. It doesn't mean that they're more successful or that they have more experience. It means that their energy and their excitement is higher. So you guys have to understand the power of that. Another thing I did as a brand new coach is the first time I heard about Success Club, and this is partially because I'm a little bit competitive. I'm very friendly competitive. I like to see other people winning too, but I also want to like push myself and hit goals. And the first thing I did was make Success Club a non-negotiable. I was like, okay, Success Club equals a growing business. I'm going to hit that every month. There's no way I'm going to miss it. I also made every win in my business a huge deal. So the very first paycheck that I ever got was a $40 paycheck. And I have a lot of coaches who have signed up with me who have earned $40 within their first couple weeks. And they never share anything about it. And I'm like, why? Why? Oh, because they make more than that now, so it seems like not a lot of money. Do you understand what $40 could do for someone? That they could get extra groceries for the week? I think what I posted about was that I could never fill up my gas tank outside of on Friday. So like I used to drive an hour to work. And so every week I would fill up on Friday, and I knew that that tank of gas would only get me to work and back for 1 week. And if something happened and like I needed gas in the middle of the week, I was screwed. Well, that extra $40, that first paycheck from Beachbody, that allowed me to fill up my gas tank in the middle of the week, which I didn't normally get to do. So you have to figure out how you can take every small win, and you don't have to put a dollar amount on it. I didn't say how much I made. I said that on a Wednesday or a Thursday, whatever, on a Thursday, I got to fill up my gas tank and I didn't have to wait till Friday. That's a huge deal. That can, for a single mom or somebody who's living paycheck to paycheck or whatever, you can't underestimate what that could do for someone. So I made every win a huge deal. I still do that. Every little thing, like I got asked to speak on a call in just a training group for coaches, and I just went live about it today and made it a huge deal, because that's showing people that like I'm doing scary shit, right? And like it pumps people up that you're doing something. People want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. The one thing that every single human being has in common, every single human being, is the longingness to connect, the longingness to belong, the longingness to like have relationships with other people and connect with other people. And we can show people that we have that they can be a part of something, and that we want them to be a part of it. So make everything a huge deal, whether it's about your team, your paycheck, do not be afraid to talk about money either, by the way. Every single person who works receives a paycheck. You are working. This is a business. It's a real business. It's okay to talk about that you get paid. And it's also even more inspiring to me that my paycheck actually means something now. It means that I helped some other mom maybe leave her job, or I helped somebody get healthy and get off their medications. So don't be afraid to talk about money. I dove into personal development. So I was not a reader, at least I didn't think I was. I never picked up a book before this. But again, and here's like the key thing, everything that I heard when I was a new coach, every single thing I heard. So Success Club, bam, done, non-negotiable. When I heard about PD, I was like, all right, book is ordered. I downloaded the Kindle app on my phone and I downloaded a book that night. And I read 2 books in 2 weeks. And that's a part of why I hit Diamond in 30 days. If my mind wouldn't have been in that mindset, like, all right, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I would have failed. And it's not that I didn't fumble. It's not that I knew what I was doing. It's just that I was determined and I was doing everything that we're taught to do. And I was doing it 10 times as fast because guess what? I wanted to leave my job. I had that desperation and that why that was so huge that it drug me towards my goal. Here's like a really big thing. If you have a spouse, when I was a new coach, I told my husband, he was like, what are you doing? You are crazy. I don't understand this. What does this mean? You're going to be posting naked pictures on the internet? What is this? I don't get it. And I was like, listen, I'm doing this and I need you to give me 30 days. And that was another, not only like getting him on board with me, even if he didn't quite understand it yet, it was at least I communicated to him what I needed. And it also made me push even harder because now I told him, who he knows, I mean, I live with him. He knows if I'm working or if I'm slacking off or if I'm really doing this thing or not, if I'm really doing my workouts or not or whatever. I told him, give me 30 days. And if I haven't made a substantial income, if this thing is not for real, I will quit. And I was not about to quit. I was not about to like tell him that and then fail. So that held me accountable by being really open and asking him to give me that 30 days to prove this was real. I also, from day one, treated social media like my storefront. So you have to make that switch, especially when you're new, that like Facebook, Instagram, whatever platform you choose, it's not for fun anymore. This is a business. Like everything that you put out there reflects you and your business now. And if you want to be successful with this, then you have to take it really seriously. So I stopped using Facebook for fun, for entertainment, for whatever, and I started treating it like a business. I still do this. I wasn't as good, obviously, like I stumbled through it in the beginning because I had to learn with no training, but now I share my story and I invite in every single day. Every single day. And I don't care if I repeat myself. I don't care if people who've been following me have heard the same thing 1,000 times. It doesn't matter because I'm helping people. And like, I don't care. I don't care if people are annoyed by it. The people who are annoyed by my truth and my story and my journey are not my people. So like they can either unfollow, delete themselves, whatever, or they can keep creeping and be annoyed. It doesn't matter to me. And you have to it takes time, but I'm telling you, reading those 2 books. So I read, You Are a Badass, and I read The 4 Agreements. If you guys have not heard of The 4 Agreements, it's an amazing book. It's such a quick read. It's like 100 pages and it's so good for comparison. And, what is the other one? That nothing that anybody says or does is really about you. It's about them. And it really helps you realize that it's not about you if people don't like what you're doing. And that's a huge thing to learn so that you can get over that caring what people think. So yeah, that's basically what I did. So I hit Diamond in 30 days and then I went on from there. And so I want to give you guys some social media tips just to add on to this, because I think this is the one thing that I wish that somebody would have told me in the beginning of my business. It's the thing that I wish I would have learned right off the bat so that I didn't look like such, so crazy, just kind of throwing things out there to see what sticks and learning as I go. So I like to share this. So biggest social media tip, and this is something that I tell my team, is do not use the product names. Stop posting Shakeology, 21 Day Fix, blasting Beachbody, because you want to leave a little sense of like people going like, what exactly is it that she does? So that they have to reach out and ask you. So that they have to like say, that's my favorite message that I get. That's like, what exactly is it that you do? Or what exactly is that shake that you're always drinking? And I'm like, yay, I'm doing my job, because people are coming to me because they're like, wow, that looks awesome, but I don't know what it is. And the reason being is because if you just throw all that, I'm doing 21 days fix, I'm drinking Shakeology, I'm using my portion containers, I'm doing this, that, and the other, people are going to Google it and go buy it off Amazon, or, you know what I mean? Like, they're not going to go through a coach. I never would have reached out to somebody. I was that person that like had already said Beachbody was weird. I would have never reached out to somebody and been like, what is that? Tell me about it. Help me. So I want people to like kind of wonder what I do, so they have to ask. And also when they comment on my stuff, I love when they're like, well, what workout are you doing? Whatever. It gives me an excuse to message them. I'm like, hey girl, I'm going to message you in a minute. And it gives me a reason to talk to them. Otherwise, if it's all out there for them to see, it's like, they're just going to know what it is. Another thing is like, if you see everybody doing it, do the opposite. That's what successful people do. So like, if your cover photo says like Beachbody, fitness, family, blah, 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 and it has this big neon sign that's like, hey, I'm a coach and I'm sending you a friend request because I want to sell you something. Take that down. You are not Beachbody. You are you. And if you're not getting your friend request accepted and you're not finding new people to connect with, that's probably why, because you're screaming, I sell shit. And that's not what we do. We're just like who we are. And this is like the tools that we use to live a happy, healthy life. So don't change your social media in that way where you're like a billboard for the company. Beachbody pays for advertising. You don't have to do that. So that's like, I know that's like a big thing on some other teams. It's like they even have you in the training say, change your cover photo to say this, that, or the other. And I'm like, no, don't do it. Just be you. So mine's like, my profile picture is a picture of me just smiling. You never know that I did fitness or anything. It's just my face. And then my cover photo is a picture of my family, because that's what's important to me. That's who I am. I'm a mom, a wife. And I just so happen to love Beachbody products, right? So all my friend requests get accepted because people don't know what I do. Until obviously they already accepted me, and then hopefully they read my story and they're like, oh, I like her. It's okay that she's a coach. So don't be weird or gross. Like, don't be salesy. Don't spam people. What's another social media? So I didn't do this in the beginning. I strictly grew my whole business to Diamond and 1-star from Facebook. And then I was like, oh, man, I feel like all my coaches are on Facebook, and I feel like all I'm seeing are coaches posts. And I felt like I had reached out to like everybody, and the same people were liking my stuff. So I moved over to Instagram. And I'll tell you why I love Instagram. So I still post on Facebook, but I love Instagram because it's so easy to find your tribe, like your people, and that's it. The people who are like just like you. On Facebook, it's hard to do that. It's hard to like know who someone is until you've gotten been friends with them and kind of like followed them for a while, and maybe they don't even post that much. And how do you know until they accept your friend request? So it's just so much like weeding through people. So I love Instagram because you can find your tribe. So here's what I do every single day. I add 3 friends on Facebook, and then I go to Instagram, and I'll show you what I do. I have an Instagram training too, but you guys have probably seen it. I hit the search button. If you haven't seen it yet, hit the search button, and I type hashtag mermaid life. And I find people, not fitness hashtags, because then it's only going to pop up a bunch of coaches. And I find everybody who's hashtagged mermaid life, and I go and I like their stuff, and I follow a couple people, and then I reach out and message them. And that's how I find girls who are just like me every single day. And then normally if you connect with them, right? So like comment on their photo, like ask them a question or something. I like to do, comment compliment question and it makes them answer you back, most likely they'll follow you back if you do that right. Because then now you've had like a little conversation on their post. And if they don't, message them. Be like, hey girl, I love your Instagram. Are you a coach too? Whatever. Haley has an awesome training on that, on how to invite people. Instagram stories, and now Facebook has stories too, but before they had it, I was using solely Instagram. Every single day, I share some kind of invite on my Instagram story. So I'll share like 2 or 3 moves from my workout so people can like see my workout. And then I'll say, next challenge starts on June 5th. You in or not? And I put a little question mark and little 2 girls holding hands, swipe up to message me, whatever. So there's an extra invite outside of my posts. And then guess what? Every single girl who viewed my story that said, new challenge starts whatever, are you in or not? They looked at it, they're getting a message from me. Hey girl, I just saw you creeping on my story. Are you interested in what I do at all? I do not care. The thing is, like, you guys have to, if you are afraid to do stuff like that, you're thinking about yourself. Once you realize that it's not about you and it's about how you can help that other person, it doesn't matter. You're like, oh, she viewed my story. I want to help her. I want to see if this could benefit her. It's not gross. And trust me, like, the most traction I get are from the people who like my posts on Facebook or view my stories on Instagram. And I will message every single one of them. Hey girl, see you creeping. Are you interested in what I do at all? I got a couple spots left and I really want you to have one. You'd love my girls. You'd be awesome at this. Whatever. What else? So be that sign for people. Don't think about yourself. So once you get posting down and like social media down, which is pretty simple, you don't have to be perfect at it. I always use Bonnie Ingalls, and I hope she never sees any of my calls because I always use her as an example. But she's like #2 in the network, and her Instagram is like not that great. like she takes photos with her iPhone. She has a different filter on everything. It's not the best lighting. It's not whatever. Like, she's a beautiful girl, but she really, it doesn't take like an expensive camera or perfecting social media or whatever. She's just really, really consistent, and she shares her story every day. It's not her pictures or like how perfect her Instagram looks. It's just that she's consistent in doing the vital behaviors. So inviting my top, this is something that I teach my team, how I like to do it. I like to send 30 messages every other day. So, and this is how I break it down, because if I do it every single day, I have anxiety anyways. And like, if I sent 30 messages every single day, I would literally never talk to anyone, because I would see the replies coming in and I'd be like, I can't. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do now. Oh my God. And I wouldn't do it. So if you can handle that, go for it. But I'm telling you, 30 a day, you're going to be like, holy crap, my phone is blowing up anyways. So I do it every other day. So it's 10 thank you messages. So find 10 people to thank. Just say, thank you so much for liking my post. On Instagram, every day I go and see who my new followers are, and I say, thank you so much for following me. Are you on a health and fitness journey too? Whatever you want to say, just thank you. Don't be like, you want to join my challenge group yet, okay? If they're creeping on you, yes, go straight for the invite. That's what I think. Like, if you're viewing my stuff, obviously you're interested. That's cool. Do you want in or not? If not, I'll talk to you next month. Like, it's fine. I always tell people, this is kind of funny, but it works so well. If you feel uncomfortable, like going straight to the point of an invite, at the end of it, be like, listen, you can tell me to F off if you want. It's totally fine. And every time I send that, people are like, no, you're so sweet. I would never tell you to F off. And I'm like, there's my conversation starter. Because now they feel bad that I even said that, and now they want to talk to me. So it works really well. It doesn't seem gross, because I'm like, listen, this has just changed my whole life. If you want to tell me to F off, totally cool, but I could not share this with you. And they're like, no way, I would never tell you to do that. Oh, another one you can say, especially for Instagram, to start a conversation, this is like the best one ever. Girls love this. Be like, thank you so much for following me. I'm always so thankful when it's a girl and not some creepy dude. And they're like, oh my God, I know, I hate that. And it starts this whole conversation. That's like a awesome icebreaker. You're thanking them, and you're also saying like, thanks for not being a creepy dude. Not that all dudes are creepy, but I'm just saying it starts, all girls can relate. You all have had that one guy that comments that you're like, ew, block. So Instagram stories are your people, the people who are taking the time to view your story and like watch what you're doing every day. For me, it's the same exact thing. Every single day I share a piece of my workout. Every single day I share like my shake on there. Every single day I share a little invite to what's coming up, whether it's a sneak peek or whatever. What else? Okay, so it's 10 thank you messages, 10 invites. So 10 actual like, do you want to join my group? Here's what I have going on. Are you interested in health, fitness, or the business? And then 10 follow-ups. And if you do this every other day, I use Asana. I don't know what you guys use, but to track, if you do this every other day, so the first day you send the 30, 10 thank you, 10 invites, 10 follow-ups. The next day, catch up on your messages. If there's any messages that you want to reply to, whatever, get caught up and make sure you're posting like a boss so that the next day you can do your 30 again. And so then I put those ones that I did today, the 30, out 1, 2, 3 days. And that will be one of my connecting days. And then I'm going to go back and reconnect with those people. So I keep setting a follow-up to like reconnect with those people unless they say, no, I'm not interested, or whatever. Normally what I do, if somebody says like, no, not right now, I'm like, well, I always have a group every month. Do you want me to check back with you next month? Ask for permission to follow up so it's not weird when you keep sending them messages over and over. They're expecting it now. So that's what I do, and then I just bump people out for follow-ups. If you do that, though, you always have people like coming through that you need to thank, invite, or follow up. One last thing that I'll leave you guys off with. You guys were in the March to Diamond thing, right? Was your team kind of? Okay.
Some were.
Okay. Well, if you weren't, or if you were, either way, here's what I took away from that whole thing. Because I was already a Star Diamond. I was just in there to like learn more and whatever. And none of it was really new. I mean, I definitely got inspired from it, but that's the one thing you have to figure out pretty early on. Like, I'm not doing anything different than any other coach. Like, I'm not doing anything special. You're not going to hop on a call like this and like learn some new secret that's going to like blow your business up. That's not what it is. And we're all doing the same exact thing. Me, Amy Silverman, Melanie Mitro, we're all doing the same things. The only difference between you, whether you're new or just not where you want to be, and like Amy Silverman and Melanie Mitro, is that they've heard no 10,000 times more than you. That's it. That's literally all it is. So if you want success faster, hear more no's. Talk to more people. If you do the 30 invites and it's not enough traction for you, you're still struggling to hit Success Club, which you won't if you actually do it, then bump it up. Do 15. See how that goes. But that's literally the only difference. You're not going to learn some crazy secret that's like, oh my gosh, why didn't anybody tell me this? It's the vital behaviors over and over and over and over and over again. And always when you start to get sidetracked, so like there'll be times in your business when you start to get diamonds and stuff like that, where you want to like manage people and you have to go, wait a minute, that's not my job. That's not what I'm supposed to do to be successful. Go back to phase 1. Invite, follow up, post on social media, commit to your workouts, whatever. Also, one last thing I want to say to you guys is, if you are not making a huge deal right now about Sean Week, you better start. Every time Beachbody does something like that, it is like the best way for you to make your business blow up. People love new and exciting shit. And if you're like, this is going to be the best week ever, we are going to lose 5 to 15 pounds in the month of June, we're going to feel confident AF. And you have to be confident too. You literally have to be so confident. I've been saying this the last 3 weeks. everybody who joins my June group and commits to this with me will lose 5 to 15 pounds. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You will. Because I know it will work. And you have to you have to take all that stuff that Beachbody is doing for us and hyping up, and you have to hype it up too. You should be talking about Sean Week every single day until it starts. And I hope all of you are going to commit to it and do it. If you're like, I don't know. Like, what? That's your job as a coach. Like, you could seriously help someone change their life with that week. It's going to be huge. And I love him anyways. So I think he's just an awesome trainer and like motivator and all that stuff. So that's like a huge, even if you're brand new, that's an awesome opportunity for you to be like, listen, I got this group, or my coach has this group going on, and we're all going to do this brand new program together that nobody's ever done before. And it's going to be awesome. And we're going to come out of June feeling more confident than ever. We're going to go to those summer barbecues and like be loving life, not worried about how we look, anything like that. So pump that up. People love that. What else? Last thing, something that I realized is that you ever, like, I don't know how long you guys have been coaching, but you ever think about like what I just said, that every single thing you need to be successful is out there. Like, there's a training on it. There's a YouTube video about it. There's whatever. Even the top coaches, like, they'll tell you exactly what they do. They'll tell you what works for them. They'll tell you there is no secrets. And so why isn't everyone successful, right? And the reason why is because 95% of people will not do anything with the information that they learn. You know that people pay $5,000 for one ticket to go see Tony Robbins because they want their life to be like lit on fire, and they want to like learn all from him, and he's a great mentor and all this stuff. And they will invest $5,000, and 95% of those people will go home and be like, that was great. I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing. They will not apply anything that they learned. So that's why I can get on here and tell you like everything I do to make me successful. And guess what? 95% of you still won't use your Instagram story, still won't message everybody, still won't do the 30 invites. So, like every time I speak on a call, I always say, don't be the 95%. Like and it's so true in our business. You can look at who's successful, who earns 6 figures, who is in the top of the network, and it's 5%. And it's just the people that take all these calls like this and say, okay, I'm going to do what she said, and I'm going to run with it. And I'm going to try it, and then I'm going to tweak it, and I'm going to figure out what works for me. But no matter what, I'm just going to keep taking action on what I learn. So when you leave this call, don't just be like, wow, cool, exciting. I'm so glad to be a coach. Love it. That doesn't do anything for your business. Get out there and actually apply something that you learned. All right, that's it. You guys have questions for me? I love questions.
That was awesome. Sorry for my voice, but I loved your brutal honesty. Like, you just got to get over yourself with being scared to talk to people. That's the only way that you're going to grow in this business, is by getting out there, talking to people, not giving a crap when they say no, and just keep moving forward. There was a few questions up at the top. Lauren asked, like, what do you invite to?
I invite to, so when I send invites, I mean, like, I'll just go to my story and see who's creeping on it and be like, hey girl, I saw you've been watching my story. I can't not share this with you. Are you interested in what I do at all? Health, fitness, business. Just figured I'd reach out and ask, something like that. And then, if they say yes, then obviously I'll go from there. If it's like a challenge group, I'll talk about their goals, whatever. If it's coaching, then I pop them in a sneak peek. So me and my success partners run a sneak peek the first 3 days of every single month. And so and then we leave it open the rest of the month. So we always keep that energy going of like, we're running a new sneak peek at the beginning of the month, but then we leave it open to pop people into the rest of the month. I'm always inviting to a challenge group because I either have one coming up or I have one open. So it just kind of depends on how they how they answer me back. Another way that I really like to invite is just saying the thank you, like, thanks for following me. Are you on a health and fitness journey too? And it goes one of two ways. So they'll either say no, and then I'm like, oh my God, girl, you should totally join one of my accountability groups. You would love it. Is that something that you want to talk about? Whatever. If they say yes, they are on a health and fitness journey, then I'm like, oh my God, you should totally think about becoming a coach. You already do what I do. Let me pop you in the sneak peek real quick. So either way, it winds up being either a conversation about a challenge group or adding them to a sneak peek. And if they don't answer or they don't like whatever, then I just move on. And I might touch base the next month and just be like, hey, is now a better time to chat? Whatever. Sean Week starts the 12th. That whole week of the 12th. What else? Yes, the name of the book was The 4 Agreements. It's really awesome. It's like 4 agreements that you should have with yourself. So it's like, don't take anything personally. Always do your best. What else? I forget what the other 2 are. What was the 10 invites again? So there's 30 on the days that I invite. 10 thank yous, just thank you messages. Thank you so much for this support on my post. It means the world to me, whatever, leave it at that. 10 invites. My dog is like going nuts. 10 invites. So 10 like, hey girl, I see you creeping. Are you interested? Whatever. And then 10 follow-ups. So people that you've talked to in the past that you can follow up with. I will tell you guys right now, the only way that I hit Success Club is follow-ups. Like, I never sign someone up the first time I talk to them, ever. It's like, it doesn't happen like that. You have to stay consistent. You have to keep talking to people, and you have to have some sort of list or like management system or something. I don't know what he is doing. My husband's supposed to have the dog, and apparently he's not. So yeah, you have to have something, because follow-ups are literally where I get all my Success Club points. So I'll normally hit 10 the first day of the month, because I go back from the month before and I talk to every single person that I talk to and say, hey girl, I got a brand new group coming up. Are you interested? Like, is now a good time? I don't want to do this without you. Got a couple spots left. And it's really, really key to say, I only have a couple spots left and I thought of you. Make it urgent. That's what makes people decide to commit, because they're like, oh man, I got to get in on this. And they're flattered that you thought of them. What else?
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm not typing it. I type so slow, it'll take me forever. When you were saying how you're not afraid to post about the business and about the money, like, I love how honest you are. And I'm typically a very honest person, but when it comes to that, and one other problem I've been having recently, and I'm curious how you would handle that. I get people that are like, they want to join, we talk, and they're like, I love your energy, you're so supportive, I love your posts, I can't wait, I have to purchase something. Mm-hmm. And I'm starting to get twisted about it, where I'm like, well, what do you think this happens with like unicorns and rainbows? Like, yeah, you need some stuff to make this work, and I don't work for free, bitch. Like, what do you want me to do? Yeah. I'm just curious how you would handle it, because I feel like your wording would probably be similar to how I would say it, but I'm finding it a lot with like, oh, I really wanted to join your supportive group, and it sounds amazing, because I try not to be salesy,
right?
And I'm attracting, but then they're like, oh, I didn't realize I had to purchase. Well,
right. Well, honestly, and like, this is just not anything against you, but it's your fault if you're getting that excuse. So you have to be really clear in your posts that this is an investment, that this is something that you invested in and it changed your whole life. And something that also helps me a lot without saying like, this costs money, is to talk about how it saved me money, even though it is an investment. You know what I mean? So like, it helps overcome that money objection, but you have to be careful. I'd have to like see how you're posting, because it's probably a way that you're wording it that it seems like it's all about love and support and not really any commitment or any like real investment, skin in the game. But if I do get that in a message, my thing would be like, girl, this ain't free. Like, literally, that's what I'd say. I'd be like, hell no, this ain't free. The gym isn't free. And you don't even get a meal plan with that. And that's 85% of your results. No, of course you have to invest in your health. And I would just like do it like that. But you have to like, I think if you're, like I always talk about Shakeology all the time. Like I say my superfoods, but I talk about how I used to spend $5 a day in the Starbucks line, and then I'd crash at 2 p.m. And now I spend $4 a day, and it's actually like something that's making me better and healthier and happier, and all the things that it's done for me. So those little posts like that, people know it costs money. And then also, obviously, here's probably the other thing too. If you're afraid to talk about how you make money with this, why would anybody think it costs money? If people know you're making money with this, then obviously they have to pay, right? So if you're like never making a post about your paycheck, or never making a post about how your income and your financial situation is like completely benefiting from this, and you're helping people by doing that, then people are going to think that you work for free, you know? But here's the other thing I will say about those posts. You have to be so, so careful how you word it. I believe you should talk about it. I know for me, the financial side of it was why I joined, and it has completely changed my life. That was what initially made me join. But if you're doing it in a way where people think they're going to like get rich off of this, then you're going to have a shit ton of people sign up and quit, because that's not how it is. And we all know that in the beginning, you work a lot of hours for very little money. So what I do is when I talk about income, I talk about how hard it is to do this business, but also with time and consistency, how rewarding it is. I'm sorry. And also how I was going to work for a paycheck for the next 80 years of my life anyways. So if I'm going to have to work for a paycheck, I would rather it be something that fulfills me, that helps other people, and also helps my family too. So I think it's just like, be careful of that, because I went through that. I've never been afraid to talk about money, but I went through that where I was like, this is so fun, and I'm earning money, and this is awesome, and everybody should do this, and it's easy, and you should join my team, and blah, blah, blah. And then you get all these people that want to sign up, and then they're like, this is hard. Oh my God, I don't want to do this anymore. And they signed up for the like quick paycheck or whatever, and that never works in this business. So definitely talk about money, but don't be gross about it, and don't like, make sure you're not attracting the right people. Talk about how hard you had to work for it. And that in this business, like I always say, you can't earn a dime if you don't give a shit about people first. Like your number one priority has to be like serving other people, and then your paycheck will come. Something that I heard in the very beginning of my business was focus on helping people and the money will come. So that's why I always teach my team. Like, I don't want you to think about the money. I don't want you to think about a paycheck. Focus on helping people, and the money just comes with time. So I hope that helped. Yeah, I always give examples of what my paycheck did for me. So I don't normally do a dollar amount. I did a dollar amount one time about like my income progression, but that was just to show like what's possible with this. But again, I definitely was like, the whole post was about how hard I worked and how much I sacrificed to make this happen. And now I'm seeing the reward like 2 years later. And also, hopefully, even if you're a brand new coach, make sure if you're having a getting started right call with your people, and you can even do this before they sign up, I tell people like, you have to see the long-term vision with this, or you will not make it. Like, this is not a like sign up and you're going to be rich in 6 months. You need to like, this needs to be your plan for the next like 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And then you will see that those dreams and that income and everything that you want. So I think I read, I forget which book it was just recently, but he talked about setting the expectation for your team. And that's a huge expectation. I think a lot of people sign up and quit because they expect money or they expect success, and you can't like go into it with that. You have to expect to work really hard for a couple years and then get to where you want to be. So set that expectation for your team. Oh, another really awesome book. Like if you want to kick in the ass book, like you are a badass, Be Obsessed or Be Average by Grant Cardone is like, it will like smack you in the face. So good. I just got done reading that one. And it's all about that stuff, about like hustling and getting your team on board with everything and being an awesome leader and all that good stuff. What else? Anything else? Any other questions?
What do you personally do for price objections when you get
Don't get a lot of them, but I will normally say, like, I run a group every month, so when you're ready, let me know. I don't really like negotiate with people. I don't do excuses. I don't do any of that, because I believe, like I was saying in the beginning, like I believe if a challenge pack was $1,000, people should still buy it. People should still invest in it. I don't think that you can put a price on your health. So when I get the price objection, I'll be like, listen, I understand if you're not ready, like if now is just not your time, but I run a group every single month. And when you are ready, I would love to help you. And then I will follow up with them every single month from there on forward, even if they told me they couldn't afford it. If people don't want you to message them, they'll tell you. Trust me. Trust me. It doesn't happen that often, but if somebody wants you to stop messaging them or stop following up, they will say, I don't, and I normally ask permission, so it makes it easy. I'm like, hey girl, totally fine. But is it cool if I touch base with you again? And they're always like, oh my God, yes, thank you so much. Because normally it's not that they don't want to do it. Otherwise you wouldn't have gotten to that point with them. They want to do it. That's why you've gone through everything and now gotten down to the price. It's that they're just in a place right now that either they're not ready or they're not like ready to invest in their health or whatever. It wouldn't matter what the price was. But that's what I do. Here's another thing too, that all my coaches always get caught up on is like, what do you do when people say that they're doing something else, like BBG or Weight Watchers or like I ignore it. I'm like, how's that working for you? All right, let's talk about your goals. Like they wouldn't be talking to me if it was working for them. So don't get caught up on that either. I know some people will be like, oh my God, it costs $160. Well, I'm already going to the gym. Well, girl, you just told me that you struggle losing that last 5 pounds and you're struggling with your eating. So like, do you want my help, or, how's that working for you? Don't get like caught up in that or be like, oh, I better not talk to this person anymore. I'm reading I don't do a free group every month. I've done like one in the past year. During the holidays, I like to do one just to get a bunch of people like on that healthy train, because that's like the time of year where things slow down a little bit, but that's it. I don't do a lot of free groups. I don't have to, because I talk to so many people. That's the thing. Like free groups are just a way for you to like invite people without actually having to invite them. It's kind of like a cop-out. People like to do those because they don't want to invite people. They want like people to come to them, and it doesn't work like that. Okay, you got her. Good. All right. Anything else?
Can you give us an example of like what you would say when you follow up with girls and stuff?
Yeah. So I just did one. So hold on, it's saved in my phone. I change it every month because obviously I'm following up with people over and over and over again. I don't want to say the same thing, so I make a new one every month. But let me just read you what my last one was. Shoot, where is it? Hang on. Oh, here we go. Hey babe, how's life? Hopefully treating you amazing as it should be. Listen, I know the last time we talked, it wasn't the right time for you, and I totally get that, but I said no to this opportunity for forever. Before I finally said yes, went all in, and everything changed for me. I can't stop thinking about you and how amazing you'd be at this. And so I had to check back. I'd love to have you join my group on June 5th. What you think? Let's talk soon. super like exactly how I talk to anybody, like how I talk. Here's the other thing about like scripts, like even invites, follow-ups, whatever, what works for me is probably not going to work for you. So however, I tell my team, sit down and type an invite, type a follow-up, and type a thank you message that you would send to your best friend. Like I use emojis. Normally I use like AF, like, or tell me to F off and stuff like that, because that's how I talk. It has to be in your wording with the same emojis that like you use in your post. Otherwise it like doesn't make sense and it seems like you're just like copying, pasting. But that's how I talk to everybody. And every month I'll say something different. I'll be like, I remember like after the holidays, I was like, oh, you know, I'm sure you ate a bunch of turkey and whatever. I did too. And I'm ready to like get back on track. How are things going? You know, is now a better time for you? Here's the group I have coming up. So I always put something personal about myself in there. And then also say like, I can't stop thinking about you. I really want you to join. And normally I'll say I have X amount of spots left. And then I'll give the date of the group. I learned early on, like if you give a date and a limited number of spots, it helps people to like really make that decision. Like, okay, I got to give this girl an answer whether I'm in or not. And it helps them really commit. So that works for me. And then I can give you my thank you message too, if you want. Just to help you. So it says, this is more of like a thank you invite to like whatever. Hey girl, I see you, with the little eyeballs. This is like when people are looking at my story. No, seriously, thank you so much for following me. It means the world. I hope you don't think I'm some gross salesperson, but it isn't my job to keep my mouth shut. My job is to share this life-changing opportunity with my people. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you, my people. And I put the two little girls holding hands. You've seen my post, so you know this whole coaching thing has transformed my whole life. Legit change from the inside out. Are you interested in what I do at all? Health, fitness, business? You can tell me to F off, or I can send you some more info. Either way, totally cool, but I could not share this with you. So that's like, if I've talked to somebody before and been like, oh my God, thank you so much for following me. I'm so glad you're not a weird, creepy dude. And then we just like, they're like, oh yeah, me too, blah, blah, blah. If I still see them liking, viewing my story, whatever, then I send that. Like, hey, I still see you. What's up? Are you interested at all? To me, that's not gross. Like, you know, here's a gross invite. Hey, I just signed up as, you've never had a conversation with them ever. And you're like, they never like your stuff. You don't know if they're interested or not. And you're like, I'm a Beachbody coach. My challenge group starts on blah, 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 blah. We're going to do this, that, workout, and this meal plan, and blah, blah, blah. And you're like vomiting all over them, and you don't even know if they're interested. Just like share your heart, like a little bit of your heart, and then, you know, do it at that. To me, the whole like watching who creeps on my story and who likes my post makes it so easy. And you'll get way more messages that are responded to. But here's the thing. Here's another trick. If you have to be posting on social media like a boss, otherwise it's going to be the same people liking your stuff, or it's going to be like 5 people liking your stuff, and that's not enough to message. So you have to be putting stuff out there that's like your story, your heart, and value. And then the other thing you have to be doing is you have to be going into your friends list every day and going to other people's pages and liking and commenting. You can't just expect to like post your story on social media and everybody give you all the love and now you have 1 million people to message. People will come like your stuff because you're connecting with them and showing interest in them first. So make sure you're doing that. Anytime my likes start to go down, I'll spend like a whole day going through my friends list, like a whole power hour going through my friends list and just like commenting on people's stuff and be like, oh my God, where'd you get that shirt? Oh my God, you're so cute. I love your dog, blah, blah, blah. And showing them love on their stuff. And then the next day, it's like my notifications blow up and then I have more people to talk to.
So when you do your IG stories, do you have those messages on Instagram and then like, does it ever go to Facebook Messenger or is it strictly just IG?
Yeah, so I hate Instagram Messenger.
Yeah.
So much. And most people don't check their Instagram Messenger, Plus, all my groups are on Facebook, like my sneak peek and all that stuff. So the minute that somebody responds to me, I'm like, hey, girl, I hate Instagram Messenger, the barf face. And then I say, add me on Facebook and I'll talk to you there. And then what I do is I get them to add me there and I start voice messaging them. And that is like the coolest feature ever. If you guys are not using that, like you're missing out. If you are, but only if you're like really pumped up and excited about this, because people will be able to hear it 100% in your voice. If you're like, hey, I just was thinking I'd invite you to my challenge, they'd be like, okay, delete. You have to be like, oh my God, girl, I'm so glad you found me. I'm excited to talk to you about this. I figured this was easier, whatever. Let's chat soon, whatever. But make sure that you're like in a place. I know for me, I have to like hide from my kids and do my voice messages. So they're not like screaming in the background. I'll like go outside and be like, hey, you know, whatever. But a lot of coaches I know get on the phone too. Like if they can get people on the phone, like, hey, let me just give you my number really quick. You want to text me, or try to get them on a phone call. Anybody that I've ever got on a phone call has signed up, like, because they're just like, oh, this girl's for real, you know, and they can hear your excitement. Facebook Live helps a lot with that too. If you go live a couple times a week, I know it's really scary, but just start small, talking about something that you really are confident in. It could be even just like, here's my new Victoria's Secret bra. I love Victoria's Secret. Just wanted to show you guys, whatever. Start off with something that you're confident talking about and then go from there. But Facebook Live changed my whole business. Like I have 2 girls who signed up and went diamond in under 30 days, beat me since I started doing Facebook Live. And they had been on my friends list forever, but they were like, I used to watch your live videos. And like, that's what made me realize like, oh, I do connect with her. I do like her. Because people can really see who you are, you know? So I feel like that's the same thing with the Instagram stories. Every time I get on my Instagram story and I just talk and I'm like funny, people message me. And then I'm like, hey girl, let me pop you in the sneak peek real quick. You look like you're my people or whatever. Anything else? Did I miss any questions over here?
I think, man, my voice is just gone. Amber, thank you so much. This was freaking awesome stuff. So thank you.
Yay. I hope it was helpful. I hope you guys go do those 30 messages. It's not hard. It's like, so once you get in the routine of it, it's just like copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, and then reply back to people. But
thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you guys.